Hey guys, Dr. Christy Ennis. Today we are talking about how to calm some of that anxiety. I am someone who has had a lot of trauma as a kid, and so I've really had to work on getting myself out of some of those episodes of anxiety. Please do make sure you check with a medical professional first. This is not about panic attacks. This is just trying to calm that nervous system down a little bit so that we can get on with our day. So let's get started. First step in this process is actually a physical body movement, and it is important to go in this order. So, as funny as this looks, I'm going to explain why we're going to do this. You can do this standing, you can do it seated. I find this easiest standing. So, you're going to have a nice loosey-goosey body, and you're literally going to let yourself start jiggling. So, you just let everything go. If you need to close your eyes, you can. Sometimes that makes me dizzy, though, so I tend not to do that. But you're literally trying to keep things loose and let that vibration come up through the body. This may take 30 seconds or 60 seconds until you start to feel a little bit better. The reason this works, though, is that when we are in fight or flight mode, we have all these chemicals that build up. And when we can run or we can fight, we dissipate those chemicals. But when we don't have that option and we're just there, this is what our bodies tend to do. So believe it or not, this little simple shaking movement helps to dissipate those chemicals, which then help to calm down that nervous system. So let's move on to step 2. Once we've cleared those chemicals, now we want to reset our autonomic nervous system. And to do that, we're going to do some breathing techniques. So the basic principle of this is belly breathing to help calm everything down. So it's a little opposite of what you would think, especially when you are in that kind of panicky mode. You tend to really breathe shallow and breathe in through that chest. So belly breathing, when you breathe in, you actually are filling your belly up. And when you exhale, belly lets go. So I usually have people put their hands right on their belly to start with this. And so breathe in, that belly fills up those hands. Breathe out, and the belly comes back down. Now, the other important component of this is the length of the inhale versus the length of the exhale. When we're trying to calm the system down, a longer exhale is actually more important than the length of that inhale. So if you are kind of like this, which a lot of times when I go to start this breathing, I am, it's okay if you even just start with a 2-count inhale and a 3-count exhale, right? Even that is still longer than that inhale, so that helps to calm that system. So it's and as you start to feel better, you may be able to increase the amount of time that you're breathing in and out. So maybe you can go a 4-count in and even an 8-count out, but don't push it. You just want to make sure exhale's a little bit longer than that inhale. And then also making sure that it may take a few rounds to do this. Just know that. It might take 2 or 3 or even up to 6, and that is totally normal. As you start to feel better and do better, you may even want to have a little pause. So inhale, hold for a count of 2, exhale, hold for a count of 2 at the end of that exhale. So lots of ways to play around with this. Key thing is breathe through the belly, longer exhale than inhale. Sometimes those first 2 things are all that you need to do, or maybe all that you have time for. If you have a little extra time and maybe you just need a little bit more help, this is where you're going to go into your visualization. So start always typically seated with your feet connected to the earth. We want to feel grounded. That actually helps us to feel a little safe and even a little bit calmer. I typically will close my eyes. You don't have to if that doesn't make you feel comfortable. And then you want to just pay attention to how your feet are resting on the floor. If you're sitting in a chair, how your body comes into contact with that chair. In other words, my butt right now. If you're leaning against a backrest, how does your back feel against that chair? It's always kind of step 1. Sometimes before that, you can do this after too, I will take note, either with my eyes open or with them closed, where all the exits are in the room. That actually helps to keep you feel safe too, so that you know, even if you're not going anywhere, that there is a way out. So where the windows are, where the doors are, any points of exit. Again, just kind of can take note of that. You can verbalize that out loud. So after you have done those steps, this is where you want to find your calm, safe place. That isn't always what your happy place is. Happy might be excited and really rambunctious. Calm and safe, and that is different for every single person. You have to find what works for you. Mine is at the ocean, in the ocean, and I am just anchored in the ocean. My float's not moving with the sun. And so when you're in this visualization, focus on every single sense that you can. So when I'm in the water, I'm thinking about how that water feels floating over my body. I'm smelling that ocean air and the flowers that are around me, feeling that warm sun coming down. I can hear that breeze. And my safe, calm place happens to have a cheeseburger in it as well. So I actually am picturing myself tasting that cheeseburger, and that calms me right down. So you can take several minutes, you can take 30 seconds. Once you get better at this, the more you do this, the faster you can get into that kind of calm, safe place, and you should be feeling much better.